everyone, and welcome out to the UGC Highlander Season 16 Week 7 matchup here between Buff, and Silver Savages. I gotta love that name. I'm here, joined out here again here by Atwas. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing absolutely wonderfully, Sigafoo. How about you?
I'm doing pretty great myself. Excited to see Glassworks played here tonight, as this is going to be the first time this map has ever been played in UGC. 5CP, always a little bit of a stalemate, or can be, in the Highlander, so it'll be interesting to see when we got two of the big teams in North America. Obviously, not necessarily these guys are in the top kind of mid-plat right now, but definitely looking to make a name for themselves here as... as we are waiting to get going here. What do you think about this map?
Honestly, I haven't really played it all that often. I've been hearing a lot of feedback, positive and negative, about it, and a lot of players just don't really seem to know how to play it to its full effect yet.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. Sorry, Dashner, are the images up right now? Beautiful. Okay, yeah, so sorry about that. Yeah, so guys, this is, we have the big announcement today of showing off the UGC Highlander medals going out this season, and let me pull up the image myself just so I can talk about how nice they look. Atwas, you've seen them yourself. What do you think about them?
I think they are pretty dope, actually. I enjoy the Roman numeral thing, and they look great.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's nice for UGC to be able to get some custom medals out for every season. They've actually been doing a really good job. I think as of like the last few seasons, they've kind of come out, and these ones look really, really nice. So I'm excited to see what the final product is. These are just kind of a mock-up to my understanding, but I don't know. I'm excited to see how they come out. So I don't know, guys in chat, toss it out. What do you think? Do you think they are looking amazing and awesome? How hyped are you to be able to potentially get one? As it'll be interesting to see if these are just for the top 3 teams or if we get placement medals, kind of as that's all worked out here. So yeah, coming back to the map, Glassworks, as you said, both teams kind of trying to figure it out. It'll be interesting to see also Buff. I'm gonna just call him Buffalo from now on. Save myself a little bit of tongue twisting there. As they got moved up from gold, and they've actually shown themselves to be not doing half bad here up in Platinum. What are your thoughts on Buffalo this season?
Buffalo, definitely, they have a lot to prove. I know they weren't exactly too keen on being moved up to Platinum when that whole shindig went down at first, and they've had some pretty hard matches recently, if I recall correctly. I think they recently went up against MTS and DK. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course.
Believe so, yeah. It's something they've definitely had some big matchups, as they still have big matchups left in the season too. Yeah, and then Silver Savages coming in actually at the 5 spot right now into this season. So I mean, I believe it's top 4 teams go to playoffs. So they're like right on the cusp, but they got some big matches coming up themselves after this week, and I mean, they definitely needed this one tonight if they want to even have a chance to be able to lock in that spot. And it'd be pretty awesome given how many very competitive teams we've had throughout here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it myself. But before we jump into this game, I think we should go over rosters here. So let's see. It looks like we also do have a couple subs here tonight. So Atwas, do you want to take over the Buffalo roster?
Sure thing. On Buffalo, Evil Mr. Muffins will be playing Scout, Sky on Soldier, Chris on Pyro, Tankman on Demo, Jack on Heavy, and Yip Yapper will be playing Engineer. Tiptoes will actually be subbing in for Idre tonight on Medic, Slumnish will be on Sniper, and Pumph on Spy.
And over on Silver Savages, we have Lex on Scout, ODB on Soldier, Lazy on Pyro, Invader on Demoman, Eerie Person on Heavy, Lyrical on Engineer, Skis on Medic, Pharaoh After on Sniper, and Rolls Royce on Spy. And actually, I'm wrong on that. Eerie Person is not playing. We got Coldster actually subbing in for Heavy tonight. I knew I was trying to figure who's the sub again. Yes, that is him here, as we are sitting at 18 on the server. So hopefully not too long to get this going, as it should be a pretty interesting map. I mean, as you were saying kind of before, that both teams are kind of still trying to figure out. I think the meta is still being a little bit defined as, I don't know, how would you describe, this like Glassworks as a map for CP compared to the other CP maps?
I definitely just going around on it, watching some scrims on it, it seems a lot larger than most other CP maps, so we may have some issues when it comes to mobility in terms of the combo, and last especially is just huge. It's going to be hard to defend, and it's probably going to be even harder to cap, just considering the amount of places you can be on last, especially.
Well, here we are. We got the ready-ups going here as both teams are rolling out to mid, as we are finally getting this match underway, and it's going to be which Demo Man is going to be getting out here first. As it looks like we have on the red side, we got Silver Savages, blue is Buffalo, as it looks like the Demo Men both got out here around the same time, just slowly fighting over this point.
Absolutely, something worth mentioning, the red medic, is actually on crits right now for this first mid, so that might be an interesting play coming out here if he manages to stay alive. We are already getting exchange rolls. Roy's picking up a pretty nice headshot on Slemnish, helping his sniper Faraffer out a little bit, and
yeah, here comes out the Kriegskrieg. Actually, not really used that well. Skis went down right away from a nice shot by Pomp right there, taking down the medic, but we did lose Buffalo's medic as well here, so both medics went down. The point, actually, midpoint's going to go in the favor of Silver Savages, but a little bit of I like that play out of the Demo Man was coming up along the backhand side of the midpoint with that Kriegskrieg, trying to sneak out something, wasn't able to get too much out here, as the point does go down in the favor of Silver Savages.
Absolutely, they just pushed across the point. They aggressed much better than their counterparts on Buffalo did, and you know, it worked out for them. We are getting a bit more of a counter-aggression coming out here from Buffalo, however. It looks like they're going to try and retake this point, as a lot of the Silver Savage flank did go down. Their combo's coming up to mid, and let's see how they try and make it happen. They are back on Uber, by the way, as well.
Yeah, they're sitting at a very slight advantage, Skis is, but it's not going to be enough to really do anything off of here, as we are getting the Silver Savages to get all of their players back up here. And now it's kind of back to this kind of poking that happens, as actually Jet goes down there a little bit needlessly, as well as the Demo Man here, so no big classes out of for Buffalo here, and I wonder if Silver's going to be able to capitalize off this, as they're at a 20%, and here they get pushing through. Right now, they looks like they want to push through, but they decide not to. That's a, I don't know, really odd choice.
There was a sniper dot right there. The sniper's watching really hard, and nobody wants to get caught out by that. So it looks like Skis is actually going to be aggressing through onto this point. The Uber finally does get popped out and is an exchange on point right now.
You know, no side really getting a huge advantage. We do have the scout over on top of the roof trying to do some damage. Heavy actually over in this little, like, stairs room here. Actually, some nice kills come out in the favor of Buffalo here. A lot of Buffalo is low, but they're going to be able to get this, as the Dome Man actually so low for Silver Savages. Opts to run out with their medic, and this point's going to be kept in the favor of Buffalo, and they might be able to do something as a soldier in onto the medic. Not able to connect there. The Buffalo medic is able to stay alive. Tips toes, staying on his toes. We said all the puns tonight with that medic name, but oh no, Lyrical comes in and gets the medic frag. Really nice play by the engineer there, and that might prompt a push out here from Silver.
Alright, engineers are going to have to be going huge this map. There are a lot of flanks, there are a lot of things going on, and it looks like we are going to get a little bit of presence on second, and there's going to be significant advantage in the favor of Silver Savages as well. That play really sort of saved them that point, as they are going to be able to defend this second point. A lot of unlocks being run here. It looks like the red heavy is going to be on Thomas Law, which has been really successful from what I've seen recently.
Yeah, those new heavy changes have definitely put it out, and I have to say, I'm completely shocked by the way Silver Savages handled that situation. You get a medic pick, your medic's alive. I mean, obviously they were down numbers, but, you know, you're at 100%. Here the Uber does come up. Medic is actually very close to the second point, doing everything he can do, but Tiptoe is definitely caught out of position there. Does go down, he pays for this trouble. They are capturing the second point right now. Heavy caught in this corner, does go down as well here, and a lot of frags coming out in the favor of Silver Savages. They are going to get this point captured here, but the real question is, are they going to be able to take this all the way to the midpoint here, as they are getting a little bit of contesting, so they got to be careful, as they are losing a couple players in this exchange.
Absolutely. I honestly don't think they really have the momentum to carry through with it. They don't have the player advantage anymore. They just have to be content with hanging on to second, maybe poking their head through a little bit. See a little bit of an exchange going down in the garden area, and we actually do have an engineer on point. Looks like Yip Yapper is going to be cheeky and try and get behind, but he gets promptly taken out by a scout. Not quite.
I mean, this is kind of the map, you know, as I said, there's so many flanks, and that is kind of like what you need as an engineer or scout, basically any flank class to be able to kind of make a cheeky play. as both engineers starting to do it here. And now we got a little bit of a stalemate again, as Skis is sitting at a slight Uber advantage. It is enough that you could push off of it right away, depending if you build right now. Skis hitting this 100%, but they haven't shown themselves to push too aggressively here. As they have it right now, they would have to push right now. Look at this 25% advantage, slowly going down the drain as we have a kind of a backwards or a far back hold here out of Buffalo, and Silver's finally getting aggressive as Tiptoe's still at 90%, and they're just starting to get across the point. Uber does come out here, comes to across the point, trying to catch out Tiptoes, who goes down with 95%! Oh my goodness, as they're coming across, just the Scout trying to be able to do something, but nobody's going to be able to get close to Skeets. You're actually down to 50 HP here, as the Scout's dancing around, trying to do something, but Skeets is going to stay alive with the protection of his combo. Only 4 alive here for Buffalo, as they do get a couple respawns. Midpoint going down in the favor of Silver Savages.
Oh my god, what plays! Talk about playing off an Uber advantage. That was really... Oh, Skis! Slemnish had his number and he headshot him all the way across the map. Super good, and definitely gives his team a really nice advantage where they previously did not have any. They have numbers, they will definitely be able to hold on to the second point.
Yeah, especially Invader going down to 26 HP, not having your demo buffed up here when your medic goes down, not able to put that forward damage, hold it out. So they're going to opt to try to just hold to this midpoint, but Tiptoes is going to be sitting on a nice advantage here. Skis finally healing again, so that gives Tiptoes a nice about 30-40% advantage, depending on how they build. As now you got Buffalo in the holding on to second, seeing if they can push out to mid here as Rolls Royce gets caught out behind enemy lines.
He tried to go for the med play, but Pyro caught him out just in time. So we're just going to be sitting here at a reset. It looks like the sightlines are actually really powerful on this map. We sort of see Muffin sort of going, oh, he tried to go for the flank, but Ferroaffer just decided to say no thank you, not today.
Yeah, we're getting some buff up actually on the blue sniper here, trying to peek around the corner, trying to get something at this midpoint here. As Tiptoes is sitting at that 100%, I don't know if they realize how big of an advantage they have, but they actually dropped their demo man, trying to peek around the corner, got taken out by a trap, I believe, and now it's just a Pyro here, but not be able to get through this entry point, and now Skis counter pops, and oh, the Uber's just coming out. Actually, Tiptoes gets popped up in the air, down to 90 HP, but going to be able to get out alive. Silver Savages are able to push through, and they are going to be able to take down this point, as so many, actually about 3 players got dropped in that exchange. They're trying to get out ×2 onto the point, and they might be able to take this into last, as they do still have those picks, as the Spy's kind of poking from behind. And Tiptoes, actually, they are resetting 60%. Uber have a slight advantage.
Absolutely. Buffalo did a really good job of backing out there. They knew they were going to be at a significant disadvantage after that Uber exchange. It looks like the defending engineer is actually on mini sentry. It's, I guess, no time for level 3 quite yet, but they'll probably be able to hold on to this point for a fairly good deal without too many people poking in.
Yeah, especially when you are sitting at that 100%, you don't have to worry, you know, kind of about holding onto or being pushed into. You know, when you hold at 100% onto this last point, you don't usually want to push out, just because it can be a little bit risky, unless you can guarantee to grab the medic. We do have about 5 players kind of holding this upper lobby area, as Pomp trying to get something, actually does get a little something. They actually got Skis there, a medic play pick, as the Uber actually comes off right away from Buffalo here, trying to push out from their final point, but they got to be careful not let any of those back caps happen, as actually somebody is on that final point. Are they going to be able to cap? It is Spy versus Engineer, tries to button off, but he does go down. It's Demoman is also peeking through this main area, but he's being countered by the other Demoman. Engineer trying to get down a mini sentry gun on this last point, and this counter pop push out not working out in the favor, as Tiptoes went down to ODB when he was trying to push out. So nice little kind of back and forth there, splitting the attention from Buffalo, who's trying to get out of their last point, as Ski's now going to have just about an equal, a little bit of an advantage, but not too much.
Absolutely huge plays there by ODB. He just picked that medic frag up right after the Uber, and we're going to sit at a really significant reset. As I say, that Sky just gets sniped, and oof, that Red Scout, he had no chance against that. And it's just kind of a sniper v sniper, like we said already. The sightlines are just kind of ridiculous on this map, looking up through Toxic, just sort of posturing into it. Like, not much you can do but wait it out and see what's going on. We do have a Pyro actually sort of poking in from Toxic over here. Lazy's trying to get a little bit of work done, but not much.
Yip Yapper goes down to a nice snipe by Ferroaffer. So again, actually no engineer here for this final point. He's running on minis, so it's not as big of a deal versus if he had level 3s, but Ski's actually at 97%. Did they switch off? No, they are still on Uber, and Tiptoes died? It looks like Tiptoes, what? it looks like they grabbed a different medic. Am I seeing this correctly? Yeah, Horse comes in now at 30%. I was a little bit confused here, so it looks like we had a medic switch in the middle of the game. Soldier ODB trying to jump in onto the heavy. Uber does get popped off here onto Silver Savages. Okay, yeah, it looks like he comes in here. It's only 4 alive, and a little bit of that medic exchange. Looks like that's Idre, or how do you say that name? The original? Idre, yeah, that is the medic coming in as Horse, Idre. So it looks like they had a little bit of a medic exchanged, and Silver Savages pushed off that. So Silver Savages taking the first round here on red.
Absolutely. What?
And here we come off onto this middle point. You might have been legging out there. It was so yeah, it's just some kind of pressure back and forth. Are we seeing a crits play out of either medic? Yes, we are. Actually, Silver Savages again deciding to go crits early on here. As Slemnish goes down, so no sniping here for the Buffalo side. Was he there?
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. My game lagged out for just a moment, and we do have the crit squeak. Idre he has the Uber though, so even if crits does get popped out, he does have a good chance to make it out and make it out alive. But as I say that, Buffalo is actually down a significant amount of players, and the Uber does get forced out of him as they go in to retake that point. He buffs his scout, and not much is going on. He has his demo on point, and it looks like the crits. The crits actually got popped. Is anything happening with it? I don't think so. What a shame.
I don't know what happened there. I mean, my best guess is he misclicked. I mean, obviously when you have crits, in many ways it's better just to drop it than pop it. I mean, especially when you're that far away from the enemy. Nobody was really pressuring him. Skis did get down pretty low, but that was a pretty odd pop out of him, as it didn't really accomplish anything. As a nice retake by Buffalo there with the Uber, and actually they're going to be at a slight Uber disadvantage, or the crit squeak is going to come out a little bit sooner is probably a better way to say that here, as a couple players do go down, so no Lazy, no Rolls Royce here on the Silver Savages side, as they're kind of sitting in this garden area trying to get buffed up here, 90%, and we should be seeing that crits popped off shortly here.
Absolutely. Now that the other team knows that there's a crits, they're probably going to be a lot more, how would you say, conservative in moving forward, especially as they don't have eyes on the combo. They have no idea what's going on. But as I say that, it looks like Skeet, he's going to be going through here with his demo and getting aggressive. The crits actually does get popped out. He's looking to get something, but no, nothing. The Uber gets popped off, and that is a really nice defensive Uber from Idre.
Yeah, exactly as you're saying. Since they didn't push in right away with that crit squeak, the medic was so far back, as actually the spy that was not. It looked like he's going to be able to get something onto the point. But yeah, no, Idre did a really good job holding so far back, basically not allowing that crit to be effective. One crit stick, he did get actually kind of close to him, but wasn't able to connect. The Uber popped off and got the better of it, as Idre down to 50 HP, gets a sandwich, picks it up, as Skis back at 61%. Obviously, that crit squeak going to build much faster than that Uber charge, as they might have another chance to re-push onto this point at 85% now.
Most definitely. I'm telling you, these corridors do not look very push happy. It is nothing but one giant choke leading into mid. And actually the crits gets popped out again, and there went Idre down to Invader's Sticky. What a huge pick. Of course, Skis went down to a really nice headshot from Slemnish shortly after that, but that'll definitely be enough for Silver Savages to sort of get a bit more presence on the point and probably clean up that. Ooh! Pomp getting a headshot onto Bonesaw, the heavy. Really nice, but it doesn't really matter because Silver Savages is going to get this midpoint. I swear, it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, Skis... Wait, I know, Skis, yeah, there. Did Skis goes down in that? I'm trying to look it up.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so there we go. Actually, so Silver Savages, I mean, they started out looking so good in that push there with the crit screw taking down the medic right away, but not able to convert anything on that. So really nice job by Buffalo there to recover that. I mean, losing your medic and still be able to hold the point all the way through a push. So here they actually go. Buffalo getting aggressive now, pushing out onto the second point, and they're going to be able to take this down, as they are sitting at a nice Uber advantage here and might be able to take this all the way into the last point if they play it well.
Absolutely, and both medics are on Uber now, just in time for a defense. We don't really have too much set up in the way of defense, as it does look like Buffalo is going to be sitting pretty on that second point for quite a while. Rolls Royce got caught out there a little bit, and we're just going to be sitting back. We're going to be waiting for some sort of advantage, whether it be health, whether it be a pick, anything.
You know, I wonder if this game, if both teams are being able to keep track of their medics, the opposing medics Uber here, because Idre, again, sitting at that 100%, had about a 20% advantage there. I mean, that's enough to push off of if you do it correctly, but you gotta do it like right away now. Both medics do have Uber, so it's gonna be an exchange here. So it'll be interesting to see as the Delman is kind of peeking around here, trying to do something. Spy Pomp did kind of stand on that point. We do have a level 3 sentry gun overlooking it, so we're gonna have a little bit different play style here out of Silver Savages compared to Buffalo. With that sentry gun, as it looks like Buffalo's trying to figure out how do they want to push this? How do they want to handle these even Uber situation?
Absolutely. Honestly, a lot of what seems to be happening just seems to be new map jitters more than anything else. I know a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to scrim too much on the map. This is the first time it's been in the map rotation, in UGC at least. So, nobody really knows, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say you want to just go in with your scout, demo man, try to just get a trade, and then just repush. Like, just trade Ubers. Like, both teams are going to have Ubers. Like, you can just wait. You can try to wait and try to get a pick, but it's kind of hard to find an angle, especially when this medic's holding so close. Spy dead rings into this final point. Actually going to go for a decloak onto the final point. Does create a little bit of distraction. Gets halfway up there. That's going to prompt a push out here. Demo man coming through the main area. Pyro doing a good job of pulling them back. Counter Pyro trying to push them back. Uber much better in the favor of Buffalo here, and it might actually be good enough to be able to catch someone out here. As the Heavy's going to try to push forward, decides to back up here as a couple of frags come out in the favor of Silver Savages on the defense side here. And Buffalo now just looking to regroup as their mech's going to have a very slight advantage, nothing to push off of here. As a 3-person push not really working out too well as a demo man for Silver Savages with the mech trying to push out here, but they gotta be careful as a scout from Buffalo, gets a headshot by Rolls Royce.
You know, that was almost a really, really wonderful push in, but nobody focused that sentry, and that sentry just cleaned up everyone afterwards. It was really great of Jack to try and wrap around under through secret, but gosh, the last point is just so big, there's nowhere to run.
Yeah, I think their timing was off just a little bit as well. You know, it felt like the spy play. I like the spy play being able to decloak, creating a distraction, but if their Uber was just like a second faster, you know, as soon as the spy capped it, you know, because now you're going to have your team look at the point and have to look at the Uber. They're going to have to make that decision where the spy died and then the Uber came in. And if they had that timing a little bit better, I think it might have helped them out here as both medics are seeing that Uber. And again, we're going to be looking probably at an exchange. We'll see if Buffalo is going to do any better here on the offensive pushing side.
And it does look like Silver Savage is getting a bit more aggressive, peeking into lobby with the Heavy quite a little bit, but Buffalo just sort of has a positioning advantage. These little corridors, they have their spam classes all over the place, and Silver Savage is just in this one area trying to push out main, or at least trying to have eyes out through that window, that's for sure. And we just have to play the waiting game. We have to wait for somebody to try and get impatient, go in for a sack, something, anything. Slemdish has eyes on the sniper, but nobody gets a shot off quite yet, and ooh! Rolls Royce tried to get on the medic, didn't quite make it happen, got caught out instead. Almost.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting here, I mean, how they are going to want to play this. I mean, it looks like Buffalo is kind of looking to try to maybe get a force in the medic again. It looks like they're not very comfortable with just, again, going in and just trading Ubers, which is just not a bad idea. Slemdish does go down here, so no sniper here on the offensive side. As we're getting a little bit of back and forth, these Demoman's playing a little bit of peekaboo around the corner. As decided, I love this window. They just kind of stare at each other. Get a Sky gets a nice 2-frag there, taking down Lazy and Rolls Royce here. They're on the flank, actually. Rolls Royce, Spy, Dead Ringer, of course. Here as they are now peeking through main. Pomp does go down. Demoman actually pops the Uber. Is Uber going to be popped off here from the Silver Savages side? They're holding on to it so long, and only the Demoman and just the Pyro at the final point. Not able to really do anything, and so many down for Buffalo here, as only it's just 4 alive. Medic down to 75 HP here, and Silver Savages. I mean, they played that so well. Everybody's alive, getting ready to push out onto the second point here. As, are they? I mean, where are they? They should be pushing out right now.
They are pushing out. We do have people on second moving out there. Combo, Medic, and Demo are on the second point. We do have Skies trying to go behind, contest that a little bit, but Muffins goes down, so that's one on the flank down. Looks like Sky's going to be taken down as well to a nice scatter shot, and that was just a really, really solid defense. You know, for all the changes to Engineer in level 3, that sentry held up remarkably well. It did not go down at all. It honestly seems like Buffalo just really needs to hedge their bets and focus on one thing at a time, because their pincher maneuver just isn't working. They'll just have to muscle it through next time, maybe.
Yeah, I felt like I only ever saw about, I mean, 4 people on the push. I mean, maybe I'm looking in the wrong location. Maybe they're pushing from angles I didn't see, but I didn't feel like Buffalo was really pushing together as a team. As at least Silver Savages looked very strong on the defensive side as Pharaoh after got a nice snap on Pomp there. As we are holding now both medics with Uber. Now it's going to be a little bit on Silver Savage's side to push through here. They are at a 1-0 advantage here in this first half. 10 minutes left on the clock as Delman from Buffalo doing a nice little span there around the corner. Not able to connect with too much, but just a little bit as we're just kind of peeking here back and forth.
Absolutely, and you know what? It looks like both teams are just sort of content to park the bus a little bit, at least until one has a concrete advantage. This map is definitely not conducive to getting pushed out on. Oh, Rolls-Royce gets a nice stab on Sky, and Pomp is down as well. Fairaffer is going a little bit crazy with these headshots. He was definitely a treat to watch in Gold last season. It was really fun. But we're just gonna play the waiting game. We're gonna sit around, we're gonna wait, we're gonna see who decides they get a little bit more impatient first, you know? But yeah, we're going forward, we're getting a little bit of buff on either side, but you know, with 8 minutes left on the map, there's not really much that anyone can do unless somebody goes in and gets a pick and forces at least some movement out of one of these teams. It looks like we're going to be sitting here for quite a while.
Yeah, actually, it looks like we had a little bit of a flank play. Lazy and the Scout, Pyro, and Spy all trying to do something, but oh my gosh, nothing really coming down in the favor of Uber. Actually, it looks like the Delman's getting aggressive here. This might cause a pop. Actually, no! Jet goes down there, but only 4 alive here for the Silver Savages side. Medic does get forced off. Your engineer actually behind enemy lines. Yip Yapper does go down, but does take down ODB. Actually, Pyro now cornering the medic. Nice flare onto him. Skis goes down there, as Horse actually went down there. No, Horse is alive, but kept the Uber up.
No, he got sniped. He got sniped so hard he dropped. Fairaffer dropped him right before that exchange, and he's actually up on quick fix right now, looking to at least get in, and it looks like he has the heals, and especially with that late pick by Chris onto Skis, they're going to be able to maybe get into last, but of course, quick fix isn't going to be great, especially because the other team has got a level 2 on point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I mean, they're going to have to be pushing off that fairly quickly. Actually, Rolls-Royce takes them down again, so Idre not able to hold on to that quick fix, and this is probably going to be a prompted push right away out here of Silver Savages back onto that second point if they play it correctly.
Absolutely, and it does look like they are going to be able to maybe contest that, but there is a Pyro and a demo. Of course, Buffalo knows they can't really get in, so they're going to meet up back with their medic. Idre's already up, he's on second.
Yeah, actually, Skis went down there on a counter push. I believe that was to Sky, the soldier. So these medics are just not struggling to stay alive here towards the end of this round. 7 minutes left on the clock here, as it looked like a clear push for Silver Savages, but as soon as your medic goes down, that's going to definitely stifle your push here, as we do have Idre holding at that 50%, so if they push off this right away, as Delman is building on that second point, they need to push right away to be able to do this, as yeah, Bonesaw just kind of taking down that sentry gun here. But both medics, I mean, both teams just trying to stay alive, getting ready for that push.
Absolutely, and we are getting a little bit of peeking going on. Jack had to back out of that choke point with his Fist of Steel, and he might actually get caught out here. No, not quite. Chris actually gets taken down by the Red Scout, so that'll be a pretty good impetus for them to push in. There is no Pyro to air blast any Uber, and it looks like this Pyro's just sort of dancing behind the point. Pyro v Pyro behind it, and trying to get that defense going.
Oh, just death everywhere as Rolls-Royce gets a nice snap onto Idre there, just trying to leave the point there. Delman's still into his final point, but goes down and actually gets a saw off. Skis does, so that's going to help that Uber charge as Buffalo, again, inability to push onto that last point. It looks like they kind of came up from that water side, and again, not focusing down the sentry gun. They tried to go for the point, but just everybody who was an Uber got just decimated as the gun wasn't wrangled. It was just left open to do damage. Skis sitting at this 100% here, as we should see them pushing on to the middle point right away. 6 minutes left on the clock, so you got to start this pace, bring up this pace a little bit more if you want to get one more round off in your name here in this first half.
Oh, absolutely, and it does look like they're posturing to do that. They do have a big 50% advantage, and the Uber actually does get popped out straight onto his Scout, who's on the heavy, and Jet gets taken down. Fairaffer also gets sniped in that exchange, and it looks like we are going to get some mid-action going on here. A lot of people from Buffalo are down, and it looks like Silver Savage is going to be able to take this point with minimal contesting, as they're out. Out, Ski Man.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad play out of Buffalo there, as they do keep, the biggest thing is they kept their medic alive here, so they're not going to have a nice 50% advantage themselves. All their players are about to respawn, and they can actually re-push out onto this middle point. So giving up that middle point actually was just enough to contest it, get Skis to pop that Uber, and now they're going to be able to re-push out here, as they are coming out from this garden side. Scout and Delman in on the Uber. Delman trying to get some stickies across the point, but not able to connect. Scout running all the way across. Actually is able to catch out the Heavy, who's running out with the Gru with the help of his Heavy. And this is going to come up. Actually, Spy actually almost got the medic there, but was denied at the last second. Rolls Royce so close here, as now the point is going to go back in the favor of Buffalo, as we're actually getting an Uber popped off from the Silver Savages onto the point, is able to help take down Sky there. And Vader goes down to a nice stab by Pomp, and Yin goes down to Yip Yap, so that's the engineer taking out the scout there, as the point still goes down in the favor of Buffalo despite the counter push out of Silver Savages with their own Uber.
Wow, do you think we'll see any points other than mid?
I mean, it's really, I mean, I'm kind of surprised here. I mean, it's a back and forth game, definitely, in this midpoint. I mean, there's definitely some contesting over it. I mean, really the question is, are we going to be able to see a good push on the last here? It means, seems like neither team besides the Silver Savages had that one push has been able to do anything with it, but we are coming out onto the second point here. 90% Uber, a nice little advantage coming in the favor of Buffalo. With 4 minutes left on the clock, nobody on the point yet, but they should be able to cap this pretty easily.
Oh, absolutely, but as we've seen with our myriad of failed last pushes, they're going to have to go now. Like, they should have gone yesterday to try and get in on that point before defense got set up, before anything, just because they did have that advantage for a hot second. Of course, not quite so much anymore, as both medics are sitting at 100% Uber charge, and oof, Slemnish gets a really nice snipe on ODB, and the Uber actually does get exchanged right here in Shutter, but that level 2 sentry is actually backing them up. A really solid engineer trying to peek through Secret. He gets caught out by Bone Spawn. It's just people in Shutter, people just trying desperately to go for the point, and not quite. Oh, Spy maybe? Pomp over here? Nah, he's gonna DR behind the point. He's gonna distract people later, and actually, oh, Itra went down to a scout there too. That is gonna hurt, and that also means that Silver Savages will be able to get the second point.
Yeah, Buffalo again showing themselves inability to push onto that last point. I wonder if they need to get a little bit more of their spy play to help take out, you know, just get that sap on the gun, run Cloak and Dagger. Just as soon as your team pushes, get the sap on the gun. I mean, the kind of getting onto that final point really hasn't been working out too well with them. Maybe a little bit more coordination might help out, but Buffalo beforehand, they had that Uber advantage as you were talking about, and it felt a little odd. They didn't go for second point right away. It looks like they were kind of dancing around it before capping it. They are going to recapture this pretty easily, but Ski's sitting at that 80%, so it's probably not going to be for long here as the Scout and Demoman are getting ready to push out onto this point, or it looks like they're just kind of waiting outside of it at least.
Absolutely, and Buffalo is definitely in a position to back out. Ment's playing really passive, so they're probably just going to try and bait a push out of them, see if they can make it out, and then re-push back in. And as I say that, the Uber does get popped out. Ski's going out with his Demoman, trying to find any sort of frag. Of course, they get air blasted promptly back in. There's a Heavy on point, and here comes the re-push. They did lose Fairapper and Lazy in that exchange. Silver Savages did that at least, and Evil Muffins is still over here with his medic, and you know, it's really not that conclusive. They just bled so many players, and Rolls Royce is actually on the combo right now, trying to get a sick nasty headshot. Doesn't quite get it though.
Pyro trying to actually run in Buffalo, trying to run on the point, gonna get denied here, of course, with that level 2 gun. Scout trying to do the same thing. Actually, nope, not able to find the right angle to hide from that gun, and again, just Buffalo kind of suiciding their players. They should be able to come back alive here as Slemnish gets a nice snipe onto ODB, so no soldier here on the red side defense. Minute 40 left in the clock, so it really just becomes a question of, can Silver Savages hold off from the next Buffalo push?
You know, I'm gonna hold off and say that they probably can. I mean, it looks like this point is just ridiculously easy to defend. It reminds me a lot of sort of Process and, gosh, Gully Wash all mixed up into one. There's just so much area to cover that it makes it really difficult to do all too much, despite the sightlines.
So here we come in, Demoman and Medic trying to peek around this upper area, make sure they're coordinating with their combo. Actually, the Uber does get popped off there. That's good timing. Probably is a very close point. Uber does counter pop from Silver Savage's level 3 gun, is still up. Spy decloaking behind it, is going to get caught up by the Demoman. Are they going to be able to do anything with this? No, too many are lost here on the Buffalo side. Scout's going to try to run on this point times 2, and actually gets a nice hide from it. Pyro does deny that soldier in underneath as well. He goes down for his troubles, and only 3 alive for the Buffalo side with 1 respawn here. And 42 seconds left on the clock. They did get nice little times in this. They might be able to like sneak cap it, but the times 2 is coming out on the second point as Scout's going to be doing a nice little back cap, and no one's yet to contest him, so that's going to erase any inches they had on that final point with 28 seconds left on this clock here.
It's that sentry, man. That sentry is really hurting, and despite the recent changes that, you know, make sentries a little bit more, well, not as easy to wrangle and keep them up, that's for sure, but it's really working out, and it's just really powerful. It covers the entire point. There's not much cover to hide behind other than 2 secret areas underneath, and we are getting sort of a last-ditch push over here. Yip Yapper gets wasted by that sentry, and the Uber does come out from Silver Savages, and there it is.
So first half down, written down into the books. Yeah, this is kind of a little, definitely a little bit stalemate, definitely a little bit back and forth, but both teams showing a little bit of promise here, as we're gonna have Silver Savages 1, Buffalo at 0, but Buffalo definitely not a pushover here, despite the lower ranking here. Had multiple pushes in the last, just wasn't able to connect here, as we finally got some stats up here. I'm gonna pull them out myself. Do you have them up yet?
Getting them right now. Yeah, it's that level 3 sentries just really giving them the hurt. I feel like maybe if they had focused that just a little bit better spy-wise, or just coordinated and focused on the sentry instead of the point, they might have done a lot better trying to push in.
Yeah, I mean, finally in that last push, you know, the spy pump was trying to sap it, but the Demo Man and the Pyro were standing around the gun. It just was, you know, it wasn't a bad play by Pump. I'd say it's more just like unfortunate that the team wasn't close. And I felt like their pushes from that upper area were working a lot better than when they tried to push through like the large door out through the middle. Looking at the stats here, just trying to see what stands out. Is there any players that stand out to you in particular, good or bad?
Ooh, I am definitely looking at Invader and Fairapper, both top fragging with a big 25 frags each, and Fairapper's just kind of had everybody's number. He had a really, really nice drop onto Idre there, I believe in the second, I want to say half just because it was so long, but in the second round, he's just been going crazy, and these sidelines have really been working to his advantage.
Yeah, definitely, and looking at this as well, I mean, one kind of decent difference. Yip Yapper actually, I mean, I'm going to call it the Engineers because I got to do that, with 17 frags compared to 9 to Lyrical, without also about 800 more damage, so just maybe Yip Yapper, I mean, I believe Lyrical had that early medic pick, but Yip Yapper doing a good job kind of later on there.
Absolutely, and you know, frags are kind of across the board. We do have a significant amount of damage coming out from Invader, getting that 364 DPM, so that's always going to be helpful, especially on a 5 CP map where you can just sort of spam on a point. Look at those chokes too, especially chokes going into mid, really significant.
So here we go, second half of the map started. Silver Savages in the lead here, starting out 1-0 against Buff here, as we are on to the second half, first midpoint. And it looks like the Silver Savages Demo Man's going to be out here a little bit early, but not going to be able to get too much damage due to that. Gets a little bit, but not too much, as the medic again for Silver Savages on the crit streak.
And you know, the crit plays have been working out for them as we go into this. Fairapper gets a really nice early snipe onto the Demo. However, Yip Yapper goes down as well. Medic's going to be able to, you know, stay back. I don't think anybody's called out the crits yet, and they are aggressive just straight across the point, and they've only really lost Rolls Royce in that, so they have 100% crits. They're gonna want to take advantage of it as soon as they can, and the crits actually does get popped off. Sky gets taken down really early, but going to oh, the snipe! Oh, the drop! What a gamer! Idre going down from that crazily charged sticky play.
That was absolutely insane. The medic right there, Idre trying to run away, jumping off the point. The crit sticky just waited so perfectly, so long, able to connect just perfectly here, as Silver Savage is rolling through this first point here, as they're going to be capturing this point, and Ski's sitting at this 70% here with the Kritzkrieg, as now catching up Evil Muffin again, so no Scout here, no Heavy, no Pyro. This might be the time to push in. Ski's 85%, so just a few seconds for this to come up.
We have another crits, actually. We have a crits on defense and offense. Of course, it looks like Silver Savage is going to have theirs first, so they're going to try and move in with it as soon as possible, as soon as they get eyes on that combo. You can expect that crit screen to be popped, and the crits actually does get popped. Sky gets taken down with it again. It seems like he's the first casualty on the... And we do have Bonesaw underneath, going under, takes down Idre, and boom! Getting that cap. What a flank.
And there you go. It's like, we had 30 minutes for one capture and already just 3 minutes in? And we already have our second of the map, so here we come out again to this mid-fight here. It looks like might have had some switch up on Mediguns here, as now it is Buffalo's medic on Kritzkrieg coming out here with just a slight advantage. And actually, Kritzkrieg also, so both medics on Kritzkrieg here for this midpoint.
I mean, sure, if the strats work, they work. Sky gets taken down with an early headshot by Fairapper, so that's a lot of point presence and loss, that soldier not be able to jump around. And it's just a race against time, and it's a race for frags. Idra's actually gonna get his crit first, and he pops it right away. Bonesaw gets taken out. Oh, the big freaking, oh.
5 right there. With the help of his team, just cleaning up. Only one alive here, just Yin the Scout, and oh my goodness. That was a stampede here as Buffalo rolling through that middle point with everybody alive, coming on to his second point. And I think Buffalo took a little bit of notes from Silver Savages there as Yin goes down, so that's a complete wipe. Respawns do come out in the favor of Silver Savages getting that level 3 onto this final point, but Buffalo looking to make them pay here, staying at 70%.
Absolutely, and Idra actually got a really nice saw there off of Rolls Royce, so he has 25% more Uber than he should have right now. Sorry, crits, I mean. And they're just going to try and aggress as much as they can. They know they have a significant advantage no matter what Medigun Silver Savages came up on. And so here we go. The crits actually gets going out, and boom, already more kills on a ski, on the lazy. So that's Medic and Pyro down. All they have to do is walk across the point and take it for their own. But it is just sloppy all over the place as both medics are down. And it looks like Silver Savage is going to be able to hang on to this point by a thread.
Yeah, Pomp taking down the sniper there. Deadring onto the point, only 3 alive for the defense, but even less so here on Buffalo's side. So they're going to be able to recover. Engineer trying to peek and do something, but he's going to get taken out by this Pyro for sure. Yes, with the help of Lyrical there. So there we go. Nice, I mean, a good attempt by, Buffalo there. Probably the best looking push they had yet. But the medic going down right away, not being able to keep Idre up with the nice stickies by the Red Demoman there. Not able to get that push out here, as we do see Idre with a nice little advantage.
Absolutely, he's still on crit. I mean, shoot, it's got them to the second point. It might as well get them into last. The only thing they will have to worry about is the sort of sentry struggle, as it is up in that same spot. They're really going to have to coordinate and make stuff happen. And Idre's actually going to be holding really passively here with his combo. I mean, they know they can't lose this, as the other Uber is approaching 80%. They really need to make a decision. It has to be decisive, and it has to be real soon.
Yeah, they are sitting at 100%. I don't think they realized how much of an advantage they had, again, because they're just being a little bit too passive out. Finally are going to get aggressive here. Are they going to be able to get a crit? First crit sticky comes off, takes down the Pyro. Uber does get popped off with skis here, so not going to be able to get his Demoman. It might be able to be caught out here. Is Invader going to be able to connect there? No, actually, Demoman is somehow able to stay alive there, as Yip Yip does go down to Rolls Royce, and ODV does go down as well for the defense here of Silver Savages, as nothing really too crazy. Bonesaw, it's Coldster does go down as well here, as it looks like we're going to get a nice re-push here from Buffalo. This might be the final time they do need, as Delman goes down very early in this push, and that might actually call it there, as Jack goes down to Rolls Royce, and Buffalo, again, struggling to get anything in this final point, but Idre sitting at 80%.
He's looking for someone to pop on, and it's probably gonna be soon. I can tell both teams are getting a little bit impatient. Actually, the sentry position has moved. It is now in one of the secret areas on the right side, looking from the defending team. So that'll definitely be something to contest with. It's probably been called out by now. Spy tried to sap it, and as I say that, Skis is at 80%, and it looks like they're gonna have a solid defense. Oh, the crit comes out! Oh, both stickies missed so far. Oh, never mind! That was 3 kills with 1 sticky, and the Buffalo demo is just going wild on this, but they need to get someone on the point. Idra actually goes down. Fairapper just snipes him all through the midst of that, and they just can't seem to get anyone on this cap. As I say that, no, Evil Muffins gets taken down. He ran on there, and there is the Uber popped out onto that point, defending it.
Yeah, nice defense there by Silver Savages, barely holding on. That Scout did run onto the point, just barely holding on to it. The nice pop there by Skis, and now it looks like they're going to be able to get aggressive, pushing back onto this point, ×2 on it. So Looks like they might even be able to push through, as they do still have some respawns in the favor. Somebody was trying to backcap there, but got taken out. That's Pomp again. Going for those backcaps pretty consistently, but still not having any success here. As Medic's sitting at about even Ubers here, a little bit more in the favor of Buffalo, but the frags, I mean, I'm kind of wondering, trying to figure out if Buffalo's actually, I'm sorry, if Silver's going to be able to push out here on the mid, but it looks like they're going to opt to just chill out.
I don't know, they really definitely could push out of here, as Buffalo really knows that they were at a disadvantage player-wise. They didn't have a pyro, they didn't have a demo, they're on crits, so they're really vulnerable right now. And, you know, Silver Savages probably could have found their way into mid, at least not of getting stuck in those choke points. Instead, Idre is over here at 100%. He's got his eyes. Oh, the spy almost went in for it. Rolls Royce gets caught out last second. Good job there, Chris. And are going to be seeing a crits play soon. No, as I say that, Blue Demo actually gets caught out. The Uber does get popped. That crits is for naught. And Sky and Chris go down. Some nice rockets over there, and that is a significant amount down. Idre manages to escape. Nope. Fairupper has his number, and he's going to snipe him out. And it's just a heavy over here on point. Jack's going to run out with his Fist of Steel, and that will be a Silver Savages midpoint right now.
And there we go. Silver Savages taking it down. Nice play by them to be able to clean up, keeping Skis alive here as well. So they should be able to push pretty easily onto the second point.
Most definitely, and gosh, these flanks have just been going crazy. People all over the place. I'm seeing a scout kind of hiding under this ramp here. He's bonking. He's going to try and make something happen. But it's still sort of an Uber v crit situation. And especially with the Uber in the advantage, that means they really they have to get aggressive, and they have to put more pressure on that crits medic, because Idre and his demo have just been wreaking quite a bit of havoc onto Silver Savages. They've been running that crits to great effectiveness. Oh, Rolls Royce getting the big stab. That's the aggression we're talking about, and they're going to be moving in with that Uber.
And here we come in. Uber does get popped off. It's actually not too terribly effective. It's just Demoman does get help with the Yen taking down the Pyro, so that's going to help them out. Demoman actually dancing out with the bottle out. If that's the way you party here, as Skis did go down there to Jack. Nice play by the Heavy, actually flanking there, I believe. And as he gets killed, actually, no, he kills him and takes himself out as well. And it looks like Buffalo may be able to hold on at this point. Scout Solo gets taken out there as Rolls Royce takes down Slumnish, and it looks like Engineer, yes, it's so back and forth here. It's not very clear if they're going to be able to hold this. It looks like Buffalo is not going to be able to take the second point.
Wow. That is definitely something in the way of a back and forth. Just really kind of almost sloppy. People back and forth, people behind, people trying to push in maybe where they shouldn't. Bonesaw coming out of nowhere with this Tomislav managing to take taken down by Evil Muffin, but Idra actually dropped down to 58 health in that. They have a little bit of a spy cap going on. He's going to back off, and both medics are on Uber once more. No more fancy crits plays. I guess everyone's learned their lesson. Ooh, Skis.
Yeah, and that's going to prompt a push here from Buffalo as they're starting to get through. They do see the sticky trap, not able to catch anybody with that on the Silver Savage side. Buffalo starting to push off across this midpoint. Demo Man looks like he's behind. Actually, there's a couple of people behind on the second point, and look at that, Scout and Spy, the Soldier, and actually Scout onto the final point. Back cap happening! Oh! And that's all you need to do. There you go. That little cheeky play out of the Scout, Soldier, and Spy. The Silver Savages takes their second round of this half. That takes them to 3-0 on this map against Buffalo.
Well, I mean, if you can't cap head on, you might as well back cap it. Whoosh.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, no, that was, I think that really set up that play was Rolls Royce not capping it. I actually like the fact that he didn't cap that, because it set up that play that he could back cap, and not only that whole play, but just at least, kind of peek onto it, as we are seeing Skis back on that Kritzkrieg, and I believe Idre is still holding on to the Uber charge.
Yes, he is. Ooh, as I say that, Slemnish actually gets a really nice headshot onto Skis from across the map, so no crits plays today. Chris is going to go down as well, so that is no Pyro to air blast that Uber back, and that is definitely a really big advantage in favor of Buffalo. And oh my god, Slemnish is going nuts over here. He just gets a 3K, 4K actually, and pops it off, and that Uber did get forced off onto him as well.
Looks like we get actually Rolls Royce onto the point with just a medic. The medic alone, Rolls Royce gets actually a nice headshot and able to land the body shot as well there, taking down Idre, and that was such a confusing Uber pop. They popped it and they took out nobody. and then got punished for it as he left their medic alone as soon as the Uber was up. So Rolls-Royce taking this back, and now Silver Savages re-pushing back in, and only 3 alive for Buffalo, as it looks like we have the first pause of the map.
Wow, Red Scout just also went in there and destroyed the Buffalo comp. One shot heavy, one shot demo, boom, boom, down. What a map. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams, I mean, as I said, just this second half seems a little bit more reckless, but I think in a good way. I think the first half, both teams are just being a little bit not aggressive as you need to be. I mean, I think that's the thing that a lot of teams tend to struggle with on these maps, is they just tend to be too passive. So I'm glad to see these teams getting a little bit more aggressive, and ultimately it's coming out in the favor of Silver Savages, though the second round doesn't quite count as it was a back cap, but still, obviously good play out of them.
Back caps are legitimate strategies. Thank you very much, Sigafoo. And definitely aggression plays into it hugely on 5CP maps. I know a lot of Highlander teams in general just have trouble, as opposed to, if you have that static objective that moves forward with you in the form of payload or cost, it's just sitting there, you have to fight over it. 5CP, you have that momentum, and that momentum has to carry through to all 9 players, which is hard.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, that's the big point, is just making sure your team's on the same page, making sure you're all coming through on that push. I mean, it's like kind of earlier when I believe it was Silver Savages pushed with the Uber onto the second point. I mean, they ended up back capping it, so they won the round, so it didn't matter that much. But, it's like you just pick the medic, you have Uber charge, you pop it, because it's basically a free Uber at that point. You're trying to, clear up all the rest of the players, but you just push them with just basically your demo man, and your flank's not really there, your combo's not really there to help you out, and it seems like just this kind of game, both these teams seem to be lacking communication, or maybe just a little bit of coordination when it comes to pushing together.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gonna have to agree with you on the communication coordination bit, because they do have all that aggression, people going in everywhere, but nothing seems to happen. People bleed out, people just get punished for it, and especially it's a new map, and you got to realize that even though we are in Plat, it's a map that not many people have played, and so there are going to be a lot of wrinkles in gameplay as people just, pop out of nowhere. Seeming.
Yeah, it looks like the pause came in due to a lag issue out of Invader, the demo man for Silver Savages, who is all the way up to 300 ping. But come on, just play it. Play your demo man. You don't need good ping to play demo man. Something like that. It's not a very important class.
Yeah, right.
Just build like sentry guns. Yeah.
Get a sentry to shoot for you after all.
Yeah. That's all you really got to do. Yeah, and I mean, this map, I mean, I think the thing that's going to surprise me is, again, just about the second half, is the aggression. I think both teams, I think the Kritzkriegs have been actually surprisingly incredibly effective. I mean, out of both teams in particular, we had the really nice medic pick, that long-range sticky, I believe that's out of Invader. And, both teams just kind of using it effectively. I mean, we have switched back to Uber, but I actually don't think it'd be the wrong idea to play with Kritzkrieg, especially with Kritzkrieg. It forces you to have to be aggressive. If you're playing Kritzkrieg against Uber, like, you have to push before they get the Uber charge, else it's basically useless. So I kind of like that play, and I don't think Uber's wrong, but I think both teams have been doing pretty well with Kritzkrieg.
Absolutely, and it definitely makes the play just that much more dynamic and, interesting. Tankman's been going absolutely nuts with these crits that Idre's been giving him, so that's something wonderful to watch for as well. I wanted crits on Asheville. Looks like I'm getting it on Glassworks instead, and I am totally okay with that.
Yeah, I haven't seen this much. I mean, usually the Kritzkrieg, like, it comes out, like, you usually don't see too many crazy plays with it. Like, okay, yeah, you pick the medic, that's pretty cool. You get, like, 1-2 frames with it. We're seeing, like, 4 or 5Ks, which, I don't know, I don't tend to see that much in Platinum, just because of the grouping up, but these demo men are definitely landing their shots today, as we are waiting for actually one demo man in particular, Invader, to let his ping cool down here, to be able to rejoin the game, waiting for that pause to come back in here. As Glassworks, so we now are about got 13 minutes, or about a map, or half and a half in, something like that. 1.5 halves in there, something like that. But how are you feeling so far about it, Atwas? What are your thoughts on it now, seeing it like in live gameplay, in STV?
Honestly, I will say that last still remains just a nightmare. It looks like it's really big. It's hard to push out of. It's really, really easy to defend, and just the sort of even setup of it just reminds me a whole lot of, as I said it before, Gully Wash.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually kind of surprised because I was thinking that the last point would be a little bit easier to push than what it has turned out to be, just because you have the ability to be able to run on the point from, last. But I think the problem, or one thing that happens, is that you can't sneak it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that with like Gully Wash or, with Process, Sunshine, stuff like that, where the map's in the center point and like it's pretty much easy, like anybody can shoot it from anywhere. It basically makes it so you can't sneak cap. And I think sneak capping the point is an important part of CP maps because it forces the combo to suddenly make a decision here, as we do have the unpause coming in finally, as hopefully the ping issue with Invader is going to go away here, as Silver Savage is holding on to this midpoint. Only 3 alive for Buffalo, as my HUD's going to be a little bit out of display here, as they are pushing onto this point with some contesting. Actually, the medic is up here trying to contest this second point, but should probably back off. It's Dumb and Solo Yip Yapper taking down Invader there.
Really nice going in there from Yip Yapper. Getting that demo pick is definitely huge, especially when they're going to be defending last soon, as the second point will indeed go to Silver Savages. And oh my god, the Power Jack Lazy getting the big med picks. Pyroplazio. Love him.
And here we go. Actually, that's going to leave 100% Uber a huge advantage here to the Silver Savages side. And actually, who is that on the final point? Looks like that's Rolls Royce capping that, so that's just a tiny bit away. I'm surprised Silver Savage isn't getting more aggressive off that, as we have the Devilman getting ready in this lobby area. It looks like they're just kind of starting to get their combo forward here. Soldiers contesting the left-hand side. Uber does come out onto this final point. Actually gets one nice sticky, popping the medic all the way across the point. Medic so low, grabs the sandwich, able to get back up to half health. Scout is capping from this back point, but Devilman almost be able to cap it. Invader going down, and now it's just a free-for-all onto this final point. It's now hugely in the favor of Buffalo, as Heavy goes down the point. Looks like the sniper's going to try to run for it, not able to get it, as well as the engineer trying to get in from that secret area. But Buffalo, somehow, someway, is going to be able to hold off this point and actually cap second in the process.
Oh, the carnage, though. Skis actually went down towards the end of that exchange. Tankman got a really nice pipe on him, and it looks like we do have a crits play coming out once more. Big Idre pulling out the critical creep. Rolls Royce is going to take down Slumnish, so that is a sniper down, and we're going to be fighting over mid again.
And here we go, about 15 minutes left in the game, a little bit more than that here, as Buffalo needs to show a little bit of sign of life. I mean, they've definitely been not doing too bad, but I mean, you gotta at least get one round off of this, as the sniper for Silver Savage is trying to get a nice sight line, not able to connect with anything really right there. Here, as it looks like, who are we going to have the advantage for? It looks like we got Idre holding on with about a 30% advantage with that crits creep. Actually, it looks like he has 100% right now. My HUD's just a little bit slow here as a Delman. Are they going to be pushing with it? Looks like they're going to be pushing through the garden side, actually, but are they going to see that sticky trap right above the door? It's going to be popped up time. No, not able to connect anything. As Rolls Royce comes from behind, takes down the medic there and the soldier, and able to connect with the Devilman as well. And Buffalo is just bleeding.
Oh my god, the spy play! What a gamer, and that gives his team 100% advantage. They are gonna roll straight into second, and try and roll straight into last if they can. We do have a bit of a heavy thing going on there, but that Red Scout is gonna take him out very, very easily. And someone is contesting on point. Scout dancing around, trying to get something done. Evil Mr. Muffins does get taken down by a scatter shot as well, and Idre is actually still up on crits on defense.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work out for them. Actually, a nice play by the Scout there to actually take out the trap, but they do lose actually their Heavy as well. Uber does get popped off. Actually, no, I'm sorry, the Heavy didn't get lost as the combo actually runs in the secret, but the medic actually gets forced away, is able to almost surf that out as they're all going down here as the Devilman, just anybody from Silver Savage is trying to do something. The soldier in on this last point, just the Devilman in this kind of secret area. Is he going to be able to stay alive? No, he is not, and Silver Savages with a little bit of an odd play choice there. Only 3 alive, and that's going to give Buffalo a chance to re-push out.
Out, and that is definitely where, you know, they want to be right now. They have the crits, they know they're going to have super advantage off that Uber, and if they can just get on that medic right away, they have smooth sailing all the way to the last point, coast to coasting it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo, I mean, if they can play it correctly, they definitely have it. Silver Savages with a little bit of a misstep there. You have Uber advantage, you're pushing on the final point, and you decide to hide in the little cubby here, as we do have the crits creep ready to go. Coming down to the final point, first crit sticky does come off, not able to connect with anything. Trying to find something, soldier actually pushing into him. ODB does go down, but that's going to save off some of the crits creep as the Scout's holding pretty far forward, but still not able to connect with anything. Chris does get, as we get another pause in here. onto this midpoint push, as it looks like we're probably having some more ping issues.
Darn.
Dang it.
Right? Not
Like,
too much
right in the push.
right in the middle of the crit screen. Well, you know, about to run out. Really a good play there, actually. ODB getting in there, trying to get something done. And, you know, he kind of did. He made sure none of those other stickies made it out to his medic.
Yeah, really nice hold style out of Silver Savages. We saw Buffalo doing it earlier, but it's like when you know the other medic has crit streak, it's making sure that your positioning is correct, you're holding further back. So when they do try to pop early through that doorway, that you're not going to be able to get that first crit sticky out there. And as you said, ODB, excellent job being able to, you know, deny that crit streak. I mean, he's obviously does die, but he also saved by, what, 2-3 seconds of crit streak being able to come off onto the combo and doing some nice damage as well onto the demo man, at least to try to slow, at least scare him here as he's coming down to this middle point.
All right, Sigafoo, I have a question for you.
Ask away.
Who do you think's the MVP of this match so far? Like, honestly.
That is a fantastic question. You know, I don't even know if I have an answer for that. I don't feel like anybody's like stood out like crazy. But I mean, I feel like Rolls-Royce has been doing absolute work for Silver Savages here on Spy, getting that nice little 3K to shut down that Uber. He also had the helped with the back cap for the third point capture. Had the nice, you know, like headshot, body shot onto the medic on the midpoint. So I feel like he's been doing well, and Vader has been connecting on a lot of his Kritzkriegs. But I feel like, you know, we can say the same thing about the Buffalo demo man there as well. So I don't think there's any. I mean, like, they all stand out really well, but I don't think anyone's like drastically better than the others. Do you have one in mind?
You know, I am actually going to say, you know, past half and this half, Farraffer has just been going nuts. Then again, so is Slemnish. They're pretty well matched against each other, and these snipers, they're just really taking advantage of these crazy sightlines. Also, I gotta throw it out to your boy Lazy, getting that Power Jack medic pick. Thank you, you made me so happy. That was ridiculous.
Always gonna love that. Yeah, looking at the stats right now, Slemnish and Farraffer got both at just about even frags here. Demoman both at even frags. I mean, they're pretty much both teams. Looking at the stat line, just the logs. I mean, this is from the first two rounds. This doesn't include the latest round that we're playing in here. Both kind of, you know, sitting around each other. No one's really drastically saying, oh, here we do have the, finally the pause does come out. And it looks like it's going to be back in the favor of Silver Savages, who are going to hold on to this point.
Ooh, Skis actually gets taken out straight out of that pause. Gets hit by a body shot, which leaves Idre up with a decent amount of crits creep. And they're definitely going to be able to move in onto mid through that. And, oh, never mind! Farraffer, just as we mentioned in the pause, gets a super nice headshot onto Idre. Boom.
Goes to Dynamite. As we have the blue finally does take it down to Buffalo, it's going to come out. So Soldier, actually ODB over the top, trying to do something, helps actually take down the Heavy and a little bit on the Engineer there, but still Buffalo is going to be able to hold onto this point, or at least they're going to try to. Soldier over the top as we have the Heavy and Demoman trying to push across the single point, getting some capture time down as we are getting some contesting back and forth, but actually nice stab out of Rolls-Royce, taking down the Demoman there for Buffalo here. And it looks like, yep, Silver Savages is going to be able to capture this.
You know what? I'm going to have to reevaluate my opinion on this map. This is just a dirty fighting map, you know? You got to get in there, you got to duke it out because there's just so many corridors. Got to make it happen.
Yeah, as Invader actually took down Idre there, so that's going to leave Skis with a nice Uber advantage here, about 70% as they are capturing the second point. But they gotta be quick, you know, you can't, you know, 70% is pretty good, but the longer you wait, the longer it's just a little bit, as Jack does go down, so no Heavy here on the defense side. Uber does get popped off incredibly early, as it looks like Silver Savages is trying to do something. Demoman running alone, they actually bombed into the final point with the Pyro. Pharaoh actually gets a snipe onto the Pyro, but no one is there to defend it. I'm not really sure what happened there with Buffalo, as the point goes down in the favor of Silver Savages. That's gonna be 4-0. One more round and Silver Savages takes the game.
Yeah, Idre actually was AFK there for a second, got taken out by stickies from Invader. He was just sort of standing there, healing his Heavy, not doing anything. Don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, some odd plays definitely happening today with these medics. I mean, early in the first half here, as we are coming in out onto the second midpoint, or sorry, the believe this is the 4th midpoint of this half here, as some back-and-forth battling. Looks like Slumnish did go down there. Invader also went down. Snow, Demoman, and Sniper for the respective teams as Bonesaw. That's Cold Stare. Helps take down, but oh, Pharaoh after takes down Idre right there. So no medic there for Buffalo, as Skis is able to keep up alive, but only 4 alive here for the Silver Savages. So they're going to have to be careful here, as they are slowly dwindling down. Just the heavy and the medic, and Crits Crease does get popped up, laser beam coming out, and that just might be enough for Cold Stare to stay alive, as Skis is down to 13 HP, slowly being healed up, but is he going to be able to keep alive? Nope. Chris coming in there. All it needed was 1 puff, and Slemnish helping that out, taking down the heavy as well. So there you go. So Idre going to be able to take a nice little uber advantage in the midpoint.
Oh man, there's just dirty fighting going on underneath the point, above the point, on the point. Both medics actually were on Chris Krieg that mid, so it was really tragic that Idre dropped when he did. I believe he did have crits when he got killed, actually. And we do have the Silver Savages back up on Uber, and Yapper gets caught out by some stickies from Invader over there. And we're just going to be trying to stem the tide of Buffalo. They're going to be trying to get in really aggressive here. And Silver Savages knows that they're going to have to probably back out real soon. Rolls Royce gets a nice stab on Sky there, as I say that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that Buffalo's not doing anything here. They have the 50% Uber. They have a decent amount of players up. Push! Go! You're Buffalo! You charge at people or something. But here they go, finally. They looks like they're going to kind of push from this far hand side by the truck. Looks like they might be actually trying to wrap here, but they got to be careful. Lyrical and Rolls Royce do go down there on the flank, so here they go. Crits Creek finally does come out here. Demoman and Heavy above. Are they going to be able to caught out? Demoman actually helps with, does go down there, as Bonesaw does go down with the help of Chris, and only 1 alive here for Silver Savages here. Scout capturing the point, and this might be what Buffalo needs.
It might be also really solid play there by Bonesaw. The demo actually didn't see him. He could have been taken down by a crit sticky, but he just rained down on that. Ooh, Slemnish getting a snipe on Lazy. People just going in everywhere. Invader popping off those sticky. Got 3 kills right now.
Yeah, we need to be careful here. If you are Buffalo, you do have a nice Crits Creek advantage. He is just coming up here, but 70%. Slemnish gets a nice snipe there, taking down Fairafter. So no sniper for the defensive side here on red, as Demoman just kind of peeking through, getting some nice stickies onto the heavy, just kind of pushing him away here. But 99%, 100% out here. Come on, you got to push out here quickly, as it looks like they're going to be pushing from this top right-hand side, but the soldiers actually above going to be able to back out, and now Scout's contesting them. Where is your support? Your Demoman wants to push in, team. Help him! As it looks like they are going to try to do this finally. Are they? Demoman does get the first crit sticky out, able to connect with Lazy there. Are they going to be able to find someone else? One onto the gun, almost down, finally does go down. No, it's just being rescued. Ranger actually keeping it alive there, as the mech is also being able to get out alive. The Demoman did go down as well as the heavy here, and looks like Silver Savages again is going to be able to defend this point.
Did you see Skeez's jukes? Like, can we take a moment to appreciate the jukes that he was having? He was dodging those stickies right and left, and he made it out, and he still has Uber. And they've got to push out on a second off this. Like, that was ridiculous.
He's got to do a little victory dance on that point. You know, that's when you got to drop the taunt off, right? Like something like that. We need to see more taunts in competitive play, of course, here, as they should be pushing out here on the second point, basically for free. But this medic actually, you know, Idre's got to be a little bit careful, as they are holding a little bit close. But I guess Silver Savages, yes, they are finally pushing out.
Absolutely, and you know, Idre is still being really aggressive with his demo here, and Yip Yapper actually goes in behind there, takes down a sniper, and they're just going to be contesting. The Uber does get popped out on point. Oh! Boom, Slemnish just gets a really nice headshot onto Bonesaw as soon as that Uber is out, and Idre's going to have that Crits Krieg ready to roll, and they're going to try, you know, push in the last Mark II Electric Boogaloo over here, and hopefully it works better than the first time.
So here we have the Crits Krieg in the lobby area, pushing from that top right-hand side. Actually, Skis goes down to a nice snipe from Slemnish, so this might finally be it. Will Buffalo get their first one off, as the Demoman and Soldier actually helping, taking down the Demoman with the Crits Krieg, and now it's just a Pyro who's not going to be able to do anything with it. The back cap did happen. I believe that was Rolls Royce there kind of doing that, but Buffalo, when they have every opportunity presented in front of them, still cannot capture this final point, as they are still kind of poking away. Engineer doesn't get taken out by that sticky trap, trying to get the Demoman down, but he goes down. And there we go. Idre still holding at a slight advantage, but Buffalo takes down the medics, still not able to go into last.
These teams really just need to step it up in terms of coordination, pushing into these last points. It's just, I know it's nasty, it's dirty, it's a map that doesn't seem like anyone's particularly enjoying in this match right now, but somebody's got to take the bull from the horns, or buffalo by the horns. I'm so sorry, chat. As I say that, we do have a level 3 sentry. I'm going to try and save myself from that. The crit streak does get popped out. That sticky gets shot all the way across there. Does not connect, and ODB gets critted upon again, trying to defend his team from that. And he actually does that very successfully, as Skis is going to be approaching 100% Uber right now. He's at 80. The sentry finally does go down, and Jack is actually underneath. Doing a little cheeky play here. People are on point, capping scouts on point, and oh my god, touch the point. Thank you. We have a cap.
Finally, Buffalo saying hallelujah in chat there. They are happy to finally get the first round in their favor in this entire match. It just happens to come at 55 minutes into it. So they're not going to be looking to win this match, but hopefully they can maybe take one more, as we are sitting at 5 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. It's Buffalo taking it. Buffalo by the horns. I don't know, something like that.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
It's okay. As Verofta gets a nice snipe onto the engineer there. Here as we are contesting back and forth onto the midpoint. Some nice damage coming out from the blue Delma man. Trying to push around the corner, get some the heavy going a little bit low there. Is trying to connect with something. They're getting times 2 on the point, but it's not going to really matter this early on. As Sky did go down there to a stab, I believe. As crit streak does come out, is able to connect. One crit streak right in front of the mech. Trying to find something. Finally, it is the 3rd time is the charm. Takes down Idre there. And this might be it for Silver Savages, as they might be able to push all the way to last year if they do it correctly.
Oh, that was a drop too. Both meds had crits, and one of them just took the situation, yo. And we do have a soldier behind here on second already. Yip Yappers looks like he's gonna get caught out here, unless they manage to out-DM this. No, he gets saved by his team. And meanwhile, Silver Savages is they're gonna set up on mid. They know they have an advantage. They know what's going on. Chris actually gets taken down right there. He was hiding behind there, trying to do a little pyro thing, but that isn't quite working. And Idra's actually gonna get really aggressive with his demo man right here. Oh my god, Pomp getting that headshot onto Ski. That means Buffalo just really needs to flood onto this point and make the most of what they have.
Yeah, 4 minutes left on the clock. They do not have a second delay. It's only 3 alive here for Silver Savages, so that's going to cue Buffalo to finally push through here. Actually, their combo's getting ahead of their flank, which is exactly what you want to do. You want to get aggressive, take that ground while you still can, as they finally, come on, get the times 2 on the point. There you go. Pushing out to the second point now. Actually, Medic, I don't know if it was spotted, was actually a little bit out of position there, but is able to get out alive. Skis, that is, running out here as a Delman, getting ready to push in his final point. They do have that 100% crit streak ready to go. They're going to pop it off incredibly early, trying to connect a long-range sticky, but that Pyro, that is Lazy doing an amazing job reflecting everything, just absolutely wasting it. They do get one last rocket, critical rocket, but it's not going to be able to connect to anything here, as Buffalo just wasted that crit streak. And now, I mean, Lyrical is down, only level 1 sentry gun. That is kind of been the thorn in their side. That might be able to go down here, but still, Buffalo, 3 minutes on the clock. Can they get one more point in their favor?
You know what? I believe Yip Yapper is actually in secret right now. Never mind, he gets caught out by the soldier. He will get taken down, and oh my god, Idre, Lazy going out there, getting that crit flare onto him and giving his team that, basically giving his team the Uber. Oh, someone's on that.
Oh, it's just so close there. It's not going to be able to do it. Jack trying to do it, as Buffalo has been trying to do the back caps all day, but only Silver Savages are going to be the one for that. As I say that, Rolls Royce was doing a back cap himself. Might be able to get caught out by his pyro as the taunt comes out, and the stab comes out from Rolls Royce, and then Rolls Royce taunts himself there, as we are getting some antics in the final minutes of this match. I gotta love the back. I asked for the taunts. I got the taunts here as Idre sitting at 60%, but that's not gonna matter when Skeets is sitting at 100% with, I believe that is Uber charge there, and the trap is up, and they're gonna just opt to hold on to this final point. 2 minutes left onto the clock.
Hey, at least you got what you asked for, Sigafoo. We are getting a little bit of peeking going on here. Idre is getting up to that 100%, and we're just gonna wait, and by wait, I mean somebody's gotta push real soon, because we are running out of time here, actually. Oh, here we go, the laser beam's coming out, and the Uber gets popped out as well. Jack gets taken down, Invader getting really aggressive with those stickies. Yip Yapper gets taken down as well, and here we go, doing the dance over here. Invader trying to get in on the bob, not quite working. Lazy trying to get in on there as well, and he actually does manage to take Idre out with that afterburn. This is just nasty fighting on here in the lobby, and Rolls Royce finally gets taken down as well. Ouch.
Yeah, always going to be the worst when you just die to a little bit of afterburn. Just got a little tap there, and down goes Hydra, as you said here. With Spy actually in on this last point, looking to decloak, trying to do something. I think the entire team's watching. Yeah, that Spy's going to get caught out there. As that was the afterburn. That was the Spycicle. I didn't realize they actually had a little thing that goes above their head now. As we are Buffalo, minute 30 left on the clock, 40%, a slight advantage, but not going to be able to do much off of it. But I guess they do have the crit streak, so they should be building much faster. And are they going to be able to get one more push in here? They finally capture this point a second time.
Absolutely, and we actually do have Idre up here on the quick fix, sort of a last resort coming in here, trying to get something going. Slemnish gets a really nice headshot onto the Red Scout here. Not much, but it was still a pretty good shot, all things considered. Lazy is down right now, so it looks like we are going to have the quick fix trying to get that sentry down. People rushing it from Secret onto the point. Will they be able to cap? Yes! They managed to get the cap with the quick fix because of that Uber and that Uber heal. Nice plays.
I love it. I love that play. That was an amazing play. Like, you get a quick fix, you have 4 or 5 people pushing through the same area. The other team wasn't expecting it, so they didn't spam it too hard, and you're able to just to run on the point. With the benefit of the quick fix is a medic actually counts as a capture, as well as whoever's on it. So really nice play there by Buffalo. Deadman bombing way over the top just for funsies here, as GGs are called out. 22 seconds left in the clock. Now all of the picks are just for fun. Skis does go down there from a nice play by Jack. Times 2 on the point. Actually, Spy in on the blue medic here, as everybody is turning into a little melee brawl. And there you go, Idre going down as well. Only 3 alive here. 2 alive. 1 alive for Buffalo. That's a wipe. But I don't think it really matters here, as the time is called. GGs are in chat. And congratulations to Silver Savages taking this 4-2 in the, I believe, the 7th week of UGC Highlander. So Silver Savages were sitting in that 5th spot, and they're going to be able to hold on to that at the very least, and maybe, just maybe, give them a little bit of hope to be able to maybe have a chance to get into that playoff.
Maybe. That was definitely ridiculous, especially in terms of medic plays. And, you know, it's nice to see people playing a new map, Glassworks, even if I don't think everyone is really a big fan of it. But, you know, we'll see how it might change, how it might fit into the rotation better later.
Yeah, and guys, we're going to do Dashner. Just let me know when you got it up on screen. We can do a quick little preview here, or we'll do a preview here shortly of the medals. But, what was that? Okay, cool. So guys, anybody who was not here at the start of the match, you're playing your own match, let's show off these beautiful medals right now. We talked about beforehand, and here they are in all of their glory, all of their Roman numeralness. I don't know I'm trying to like find new adjectives to describe the medals as. Shiny.
Shiny work.
Gold.
They look great.
Take them by the horns.
Also, shout-outs to you, Crash, actually, the creator of this map. He's in Twitch chat right now, so, hi! It's getting played buddy. Right now.
Congratulations. No, but yeah, these are the medals for this coming season. So very exciting stuff. Glad to be able to show it off to you guys first here. As, yeah, this is what you have to look forward to. This is what all of these players are playing for right now. That get to wear that on your body. I got a couple medals myself. Nothing too fancy, but I don't know. It's always kind of a sense of pride when you're able to wear like something from, you know, like a league. Yeah, I got 2nd place. I got 3rd place. I got 1st place. I can't say I got 1st place, but I can say 2nd and 3rd. I can say that. But yeah, so there you go, guys. Definitely get some hype in that. What are your thoughts? Share them out in chat there. As Silver Savages, again, taking this game 4-2 against Buffalo. Definitely a little bit of a sloppy game on each side. Silver Savages definitely looking a little bit better. But I'm kind of surprised at how Buffalo was able to get into the last so easily there. I mean, obviously they had a lot of failed pushes, but that also speaks to Silver Savages not doing a good job of being pushed back to last as well.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to maybe seeing a lot more crits plays in the future on 5CP maps. That was definitely a riot to watch.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised. The more, you know, I kind of saw this, I'm a little bit surprised that it's not more of the meta. Obviously, you know, Kritzkrieg versus Uber can end badly one way or the other, but Kritzkrieg done well. I mean, and these teams both, I think, did it pretty well for the most part. Definitely shown it incredibly viable. I mean, we already know it's viable, but it hasn't been a lot in the meta, or at least a consistent staple in the meta But both these teams kind of bucking the trend, or I don't know, maybe it is the new trend. I've not seen a lot of 5CP played this season, as I believe this is the first 5CP of the year. I'd have to double check that, but I believe I'm correct on that.
I think you are. And
that's what I like to hear. High confidence.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, absolutely. Big thank you for both the teams coming out here and doing what best and giving us a really tight, back and forth game on this Glassworks map. And good job, especially to the medics, pulling out all sorts of mediguns over there. And big shout out to the viewers as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, and just before we go here, just real quick look at the stats. Looks like Slemness actually top fragging for Buffalo there with 35 frags, about 9 over Pharaoh After, who had 26. I'm kind of curious about who had the more medic picks though, as Invader and Pharaoh After sitting at 10 or 5 each, so that's 10, and we're Slemnish only at 4. One always makes a difference there, but I think that's actually the most surprising thing is you got Invader with 5 medic picks, a Demo Man with 5 medic picks. I mean, usually the medic picks come from the flank classes, from the pit classes, but the Demo Man, that means he was doing a pretty good job there with the use of the Kritzkrieg. Do you have the stats up right now yourself?
I do indeed.
Is there anything that stands out to you on this second half?
Lex, just going crazy. I believe aliasing as Yin that match, but he was just walking all over people. He was dropping combo right and left, and he was putting out the damage as well. 9,000 damage is nothing to sneeze at, especially coming from a scout.
Yeah, definitely there. As Invader topping the damage board about 14.5k, as we had the Buffalo Demo Man sitting there at about 12.5. So definitely a little bit better in the favor. That's also going to be buffed a little bit more just purely because of Kritzkrieg. But yeah, both teams playing pretty well, but definitely Silver Savages mostly taking the top part of that board with good reason, as they definitely, I think, the better team won today, or at least that we saw. And I'm excited to see Silver Savages. They have, I believe their next match is against either K&D or MTS or DK, one of the big name teams, and they're going to have to show themselves because they're going to need a big win to be able to, again, even give them a chance at that playoff spot, as they are sitting at that 5th spot here. As wrapping it up, Atwas, is there any shout-outs you want to give or any final thoughts on this match or anything you want to add in?
Honestly, big shout-out to our cameraman Dashner, who's been doing a lovely job, as always, and shout-outs to everyone who plays esports and watches them,
Hell yes. Awesome. Well, I don't think I have anything else. Thank you to EVL and eXtv for combining this together. Again, as you said, thanks to Dashner. Thank you to, I don't know, I don't have the name in front of me, but for getting the medals out here, and Crash for obviously creating this map was an interesting one, definitely, and I'm curious to see how it'll evolve with new versions and whatnot. But from me, from Atwas, from Dashner, thank you guys all for tuning out here, and I hope you guys have a great night.